I should have ignored the message. That would have been the smart thing to do. Close the phone. Pretend I never saw it. Go to sleep and show up Monday like nothing happened. But the moment I read those 5 words, something inside me snapped. See what you could have had. The text came from my CEO, James Whitman, the man who had promised me a promotion for months, then gave it to someone else. Attached to the message was a photo. James standing on a yacht, champagne glass in one hand, his arm wrapped around Cassandra Reynolds. The same Cassandra who had taken the job I'd worked for 5 years to earn. They were laughing in the picture. Golden sunset behind them. 2 people celebrating a life I had apparently just been told I could have been part of. Or maybe that I wasn't good enough for. My phone screen glowed in the dark hotel room. 11:47 p.m. company retreat, Lake Tahoe. Everyone else downstairs at the bar celebrating the end of 3 long days of forced smiles and corporate bonding. And somehow my CEO had just sent me the message that confirmed everything I had been trying not to believe for months. At first I assumed it was a mistake. Maybe he meant to send it to Cassandra. Maybe he meant to send it to someone else entirely. But the message sat there. Delivered, read. And the longer I stared at it, the more the truth settled into my chest like a heavy stone. This wasn't an accident. This was arrogance. Drunk arrogance. The kind that shows you exactly what someone really thinks. 5 years. 5 years of late nights, early mornings, impossible deadlines. 5 years of being the first person in the office and the last one to leave. 5 years of hearing James Whitman say the same thing over and over again. Stick with me, Eliza. I see big things for you here. I believed him. God help me. I actually believed him. When I first joined Meridian Technologies, I was 27 and desperate to prove myself. MBA, 2 internships, and a mountain of student debt that made ambition feel less like a personality trait and more like survival. Meridian wasn't a giant tech company back then. It was growing fast but still small enough that everyone knew each other's names. James was the kind of CEO who made you feel seen. During meetings, he would look directly at you when you spoke, nod thoughtfully, smile like your idea had just saved the company. Eliza has the Midas touch, he once told the board after one of my marketing campaigns tripled our customer engagement numbers. I still remember how my chest felt that day. Pride, validation, hope. It was the first time I truly believed I might build something meaningful in that company. But looking back now, there were signs, small ones at first. His hand resting a little too long on my shoulder when he congratulated me. The way our one-on-one meetings always seemed to stretch longer than anyone else's. The compliments that slowly drifted from professional to personal. You work too hard, Eliza, he'd say with a half smile. You should let someone take care of you for once. I laughed it off every time, told myself he was just being friendly. My supervisor, Vanessa, didn't see it that way. One afternoon, we were grabbing coffee across the street from the office when she leaned across the table and said quietly, "Be careful with James." I frowned. "What do you mean?" She stirred her latte slowly before answering. "He likes bright young stars, builds them up, gives them attention." "And then?" I asked. Vanessa didn't finish the sentence. She just gave me a look that made my stomach tight. I brushed it off. People get jealous in corporate environments, especially when someone younger moves up quickly, and I was moving up quickly. 2 years in, I was already managing campaigns that used to belong to senior directors. By year 4, most people assumed the next marketing director would be me, including James. Or at least that's what he told me. I remember the afternoon perfectly. He called me into his office. Instead of sitting behind his desk like usual, he leaned against the edge of it, relaxed, almost casual. "Eliza," he said, "you remind me of myself when I started this company." I smiled politely. "That's quite a compliment." "No," he said softly, "it's the truth." His eyes stayed on mine longer than they needed to. "The board meeting is next Friday," he continued, "and I think you're going to be very happy with the announcement." For the next 10 days, I lived in a quiet state of excitement. I didn't tell many people, just my parents, my best friend Marcus from product development. and the draft version of my LinkedIn profile, Marketing Director. The title looked surreal on the screen, like a future that was finally about to arrive. Then the board meeting happened, and everything changed. The company gathered in the conference hall that afternoon. James stood at the front smiling like he always did during big announcements. "I'm excited to introduce the next chapter of Meridian's marketing strategy," he said. Then he said a name, not mine. "Please welcome Cassandra Reynolds, our new marketing director." For a moment I genuinely thought I had misheard him, but Cassandra stood up beside him, tall, confident, perfectly styled. The room filled with applause, and just like that, 5 years of work disappeared in a single sentence. Later I learned she had met James 3 months earlier at a tech conference in Miami. Their working dinners had apparently lasted until 2 or 3 in the morning. Funny how networking can open doors, especially the kind that close on everyone else. I stayed professional, smiled, congratulated her, handed over every project I had been leading. Inside my chest something cold and heavy started growing. For the next 2 months the office changed. James stopped stopping by my desk. My ideas in meetings suddenly needed more development. Cassandra began presenting strategies I had originally proposed, and every day I walked into that building pretending none of it bothered me. Until tonight. Until the company retreat. Until the message that was still glowing on my phone screen. "See what you could have had." My chest tightened as I stared at the photo again. James and Cassandra laughing together on that yacht, like they were celebrating something, like the promotion had never been about qualifications at all. Maybe the message really was meant for someone else. But in that moment it didn't matter, because it told me everything I needed to know. My fingers moved before my brain could stop them. 3 words, simple, calm, honest, "I deserve better." The message sent. For a moment nothing happened. Then my phone buzzed, once, twice, 3 times, incoming calls. James again, then a text. "Eliza, that message wasn't meant for you." Another, "Please ignore it." And another, "We need to talk immediately." I stared at the screen, feeling something I hadn't felt in months. Peace. Because for the first time in a long time, I wasn't trying to protect my job. I was protecting myself. What I didn't realize yet was that those 3 words had just started a chain reaction that would destroy my career at Meridian and change my life forever. The calls kept coming.